cool.
Thank you so much for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, let's talk about this upcoming tour and the new song. First of all, how excited are you to come back to Brazil for 5 concerts and one of them at a free festival?
Really excited. One of the things that like of doing this so long, I've often gets in trouble because um I've always heard where people they do interviews and people and sometimes people I know, oh, it's the best. Oh, I love it. And then they're like there and they're just like, ah, fucking sucks, And it's like a politician, and I fucking hate politicians and I hate people that bullshit. And I think people could see right through it. But as I've been saying many times and telling people, before COVID happened, I think I went to for Brazil 4 or 5 times and was there for probably about 3 months and like the 18 months before it happened, and was working with met a lot of people that became really good friends with, and we're doing a lot of plans and had a lot of ideas. And then we did the Infectious Grooves with the other band that I'm in with Robert Trujillo, and we went there and did a festival, a free one, end of October, November of 2019. And then Suicidal did one at that where the skate park is in December of 2019, right before COVID. And we had a bunch of stuff planned for the next year, and then COVID happened and everything got postponed and put off, and then nobody knew, what was going to happen and when, so it made things very difficult. But it was one of those ones where the more that I was there, and people said, man, what's Mike? Are they playing Suicidal playing? And they're like, no. And he said, why is he here? And then it was funny because I heard like 3 or 4 times people said like, he goes, yeah, man, they're saying, why is he always here? Is he got a Brazilian girlfriend or something? And it was like, no. And he goes, that's the first dude that ever comes down to Brazil, and it's not because of a chick and stuff. So I just it's kind of funny. And but yeah, I really met some great people. There's a lot of people very similar with the skating, the surf, that culture and that the music, obviously, and just have a real. Other than the language, I wish I could learn, but it is gnarly for me. I just like can't get it, but fortunately, everybody goes out of the way to be nice and speak English to me. But so with this opportunity to go, I'm in Europe right now. We were supposed to have like a week off, and that week off, then they said about that show in Sao Paulo, and I was like, And I go, I guess I'm flying straight from Europe, straight to Brazil, and then from Brazil, we're going straight to Denver to play festival there, and so it's not ideal timing or whatever, but there's no better time when they have something like that, and we wanted to do more shows. And then we'd always talked about like doing a song with some other people, and my friends got on the phone. We got Jay in the studio, recorded a track, and said, let me talk to a few people. They said, who would you want me to talk to? I mentioned a few people and got everybody in the studio and recording on it. And it was just great to see everybody, on FaceTime or whatever, doing it, how excited everybody was, how gracious they were with their time and everything. Amazing, and I think when it comes to music, a lot of times people talk about travel and this and that, and I always say, you see the side of the from the from a hotel room or driving down the road, but when people welcome you and you can go to places and feel at home, and they welcome you in their homes, and and you meet their families and all that, that's an amazing feeling. And then on the music side, for some people to be on a song that you did, and that's just something that I never would have dreamed of, when it first started.
That's amazing. Well, and this song you guys recorded, this is something very unique. I cannot think of other international artists that have done something even similar to this in Brazil. How did you guys have the idea of recording this song, and how was the process of writing and recording it?
Well, part of it, a lot of it, when I was down there talking to a lot of people, and people were like, oh, we should do a song, or, oh, will you sing on a song? And just kind of got talking about music and different things like that. And so usually like years ago, something would be very difficult. Everybody's got the labels they got to get signed off on and all those things. And now the beauty is if somebody wants to do something, they can do it pretty much, you know. And fortunately, there's a lot of people that want to do it. And then the problem is people's schedules, you know,
Yeah.
and getting a bunch of people trying to find everybody's schedule that works out to get them in the studio at the same time. A lot of people had to do a lot of, you know, we call it pretzel, twisting and changing schedules and this and that, but which makes it, you know, even more appreciative of, you know, to that it happened, because it isn't easy. And the more people you have, the harder it is and stuff. So it's just something that like, yeah, like I said, I never would have expected something like that to happen. And it everybody like just really went out of their way to make it as smooth as possible. And I think also the other thing is for me, like I don't, you know, understand, you know, Portuguese or whatever, but like when I listen to it, it's like you tell each person's, you know, kind of individuality or whatever and their distinctiveness, but it all works together. And I know sometimes when I've heard, you know, projects or whatever with different people, it doesn't sound right, you know, it doesn't fit. And for me, I hear that, I go, this sounds amazing, you know, to me. It sounds really, really exciting and energetic. I love it.
Absolutely. And about the concerts here in Brazil, what can fans expect in terms of set list? I saw that you were playing a lot of classics recently, a lot of songs from the first album, just the good ones. What can Brazilian fans expect from the set list for these concerts?
Well, I mean, we've just done 3 festivals. We just got to Europe. We've done 3 festivals. We did different sets every night. And so I'm not really sure. We hit previously earlier last year we were playing the first record, the whole first record and stuff. So we started playing a lot of those songs we hadn't played in a while, and that was a lot of fun. And they're actually Jay and Dean and Ben are in the other hotel room, and they're going over they're learning some other songs because we're going to play some different songs that Jay hasn't played before tomorrow and the next 2 days and stuff. So it's kind of fun. Everybody's like, "Oh, I want to play this," you know, and Ben's like, "Oh, I haven't played this. You know, we haven't played this. Could we play this?" And so we're going through a lot of memories, yes, to say.
Yeah, well, and since we talked about a new song, I watched your press conference during Hellfest, and you said that
Oh,
there are some chances of the band recording a new album. Even Jay has shown a desire to do it. You also said that
yeah.
you don't like much recording albums, but do you believe it will happen this time?
Well, the one thing that the irony of it is the main thing is after not only just doing the record, but after the record, all the interviews, all that kind of stuff, and it's the time. And
Yeah.
I like being with my family, you know, and I'm constantly like, you know, I feel bad. It's like, and it's like, you know, my wife's like, okay, I understand, you know, and I'm going to do this or doing that. And so it's one of those ones that I love music. And I was telling someone we have our own studio and literally have hundreds of songs that suicidal, different projects, infectious, different things they've done. And people sometimes will play stuff and they're like, "What is this? Where did that? When did that come out?" I go, "Nah, it never came out. When you put it out, I'm not." And I think one of the things is I don't want to do music. I think a lot of people, they do music to be liked, or they do music that they hope people will like. And um, you know, it's like kind of being a chef, and you use a lot of sugar and and butter. You know, it makes it sweet, but you end up with like unhealthy. And I would rather be a little more challenging. And that's one of the things with Jay and also Ben. He's been Weinman. He's been playing with us for 6 years now. And he goes, he told about when he first heard Suicidal when he was 12 years old. And like the record, just like he goes, I listened to a lot of music and my friends were listening to a lot of music, but when I listened to that, I listened to it differently. And he's like going, I want to make a record. He goes, I didn't fit in and this and that, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I want to make a record that, his son, when he's older and their friends or whatever, that when they hear it, they discover it, they'll be listening to it 20, 30 years later, and not do a record that is what's going on now, per se and stuff. And obviously Jay playing the old ones and that he said almost a similar thing. He goes, I remember when I first heard Suicidal, I loved it. He goes, there's a lot of music I like or whatever, but there was something about it. He goes, I want to play on a record where people hear that and they're like, that fucking Suicidal. Yeah. And so when you see that they have that, they're coming from that spot. And then obviously with Ty, with his dad, he wants to do his own legacy and, not show up as dad, but, take it to the next level. And you see everybody's coming from the right place to what I think is the right place to do music. Then I have no doubts that we could make a record that I'd be extremely proud of. And I would probably regret if didn't take the opportunity being with these people to to try to do a record,
Yeah, well, and you're coming to Brazil with new members in the band that Brazilian fans obviously that haven't been able to see live yet, which are Ty and Jay.
Yes.
What can you tell us about them? What has it been like playing with Ty and Jay in concerts?
Well, Ty's a great story because obviously, his dad is one of my best friends and
Mhm.
was in Suicidal for many years. And, it was great because we just, played Hellfest and obviously Metallica was playing. And it was also Lula's birthday, his sister, Robert's daughter and Ty's sister. So it was great, and Chloe was there and, a great family. And just that we were playing the same date on on our birthday. It was really cool. And but for Ty, he played the first show when he was 14, and he's just this little kid. And you see Robert was there, all nervous, the nervous roadie, and the guy who plays in front of 60, 70,000 people, nothing but his son's playing. He's all, oh, Ty, you got this? Ty, is it plugged in? Ty, is it? It's just hysterical. And there's footage of this, but the very first song we played "You Can't Bring Me Down," and I was running across the stage, and Ty got on the drum riser, and he jumped off, and right where I was going, and I'm too big to stop that fast, and I knocked him down, and it looked like man, someone's going, dude, they should throw him in jail for 10 years. He just past that kid, and I was like, Ty, Robert and Chloe are right there, and Ty went down, and I'm like going, I don't know whether to pick him up or to go apologize to his parents, or and then but Ty just bounced up and just kept playing, and I was like, kind of stopped for a second. I usually don't stop, but I was like, damn, that was pretty impressive, And then afterwards, I wanted to apologize, and it was Robert. I was like, he goes, dude, that was a bad thing. That was fucking suicidal punk rock initiation, and stuff. He goes, just as long as it's on video, and it's on video, so it's great. But Ty has such it's like, talk about the pro skateboarders. My brother's a pro skateboarder, and the stuff they did was like, I was like, oh, this is crazy. But every generation does something else, and they get to learn from what other people do and mimic it, and take it to try to expand upon it. And I think that's where Ty is. He's been able to be around all these crazy, insane musicians and be able to take his path and stuff. And it's funny because people say like, oh, they got Robert's son and this and that, and we go up now and people are like, Ty's a fucking beast, and he's a great guy, but after he plays, people just go, dude, that dude is he's gnarly, and that's great because, it's kind of similar with Thundercat. When he started playing with us, he was 16, and and been with so many great musicians and young, and see them develop. Last night, Sunday night, we just played in Portugal, and with Avenged Sevenfold, and Brooks Wackerman's the drummer, and Brooks started playing with us when he was 14, with Infectious, and then got into Suicidal when he was 16. And it's always great to be around. The Foo Fighters played Hellfest. That's Josh Freese. Josh Freese started playing with us when he was 17. And on and on the list. And Ty is definitely going to be one of those people that 20 years from now, the world is his. It'll be his. It'll already been his.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. And now about Jay, it's super cool that he joined Infectious Grooves and soon after went to Suicidal Tendencies as well.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about Jay? What has it been like playing with him so far?
Well, Jay, I always knew was a great drummer. We toured with him with Slipknot, and I know that he filled in for his dad doing a Bruce Springsteen when I think he was 19, and he played in some, a bunch of Madball, a bunch of hardcore bands, and I knew that. And but with Slipknot, they do their sound checks, and I was going, this guy's Slipknot has their thing and they do it great, and he did it great, but he's a gnarly drummer. He's incredibly versatile. So when we're doing Infectious, Robert said, hey, I got this time frame right here. We can do some shows, but it has to be that time frame. We called Brooks, and as I said, Brooks was doing Avenged Sevenfold, so we had to get a drummer. And my son Tyson is a huge Jay fan, huge. And so when we're like, who are we gonna get to play drums? My son was like, it's like, you gonna call Jay? And at that time, I just recently saw footage, and he had surgery, and he was just walking, and I go, I don't even think he can. I mean, I know he could, do that gig serious, and he's a great drummer and would add a lot, but I don't think physically he's even playing. And so we were, talking over people, and my son's like, well, just call him up. I go, dude, I don't even have his number, and of course Robert did, and Robert gave me the number, and I texted him and saying, I'm just, seeing what's up and how you are and with the thing, and if, when you're even going to be able to play. And he goes, man, he goes, I'm not supposed to be playing, supposed to be ready like a month afterwards. And he goes, well, let me check, let me see. And he goes, give me some time. I got some, therapy sessions, and see how the progress is and everything. And it went well. But we got in the studio to practice the first time, and he got in there, and it was just so much fun. And I think it was great for him too, because he got to mix it up a lot more than he does, in some other things, and he appreciates that freedom. And then he was like, do you want me to? And we just said, me and Robert said, we want you to be you. What you want to do, what you think is right, you do that. And he goes, thank you. I love hearing that. So that's the thing about Jay. It's like, if I had to tell someone what to do or that type of thing, it's a problem. And even with a lot of our songs that probably played hundreds or thousands of times, you'll watch back some footage, and I'll go, dude, that was badass. And it totally fits into the context of what we're doing, and just love the way he plays. Absolutely love the way he plays. So feel very fortunate to be there, and think it's a really good match for Suicidal, and he embraces it and understands where we're coming from and where we want to go. And so I think that's huge, and I think people are definitely gonna, on all the shows, but in Brazil, they will definitely see that up front and center.
That's amazing. Well, just a quick last question. I would like to know Suicidal Tendencies and Infectious Grooves next plans. I know you already have some concerts scheduled in America and Europe, but other than that, what else are you planning for the end of this year and maybe for next year?
So as I said, we go straight to Brazil from here, go straight to the States, back for 2 days, go straight to Eastern Europe for a bit, come back. Then we have doing a show with the Misfits. Then we have a bunch of festivals in the States, and then we're kind of keeping things open to figure out what we're doing next, and maybe to try to get the record done and that. So it's pretty busy. Trying to get everybody's schedule lined up, and so we can all get together and go the next level.
That's cool, man. I think this is it. Thank you so much for your time, Mike. I hope you have a good time in Brazil.
No worries. I definitely will. I'm my son is oldest son is 20, and he tours with us now, and he's super excited about going. And my other friends, because we have a lot of Brazilian friends, and they come, and so they bring their kids, and they know their kids. And my younger my 13-year-old and 14-year-old, they're like, when are you going to Brazil? We're going to Brazil. We're going to Brazil. And so they're not going this time, but they're all super excited about it, and they're always asking, about our friends there and stuff. When are they coming back? When are we gonna visit? So that's really, really cool, and makes it even better. And so and they're we'll be happy to eat a little extra churrascaria for them.
Yeah.
Send a picture.